Hi everyone, welcome to the first and perhaps only episode of GradCooks, a series where I cook and talk about applied linguistics. Today let's talk about identity theory. Identity theory has to do with, you guessed it, your identity. Identity theory originated in psychology, but was applied to the field of second language acquisition by Dr. Bonnie Norton, who identified three key components within identity that are specific to second language acquisition. One is that identity is made up of multiple components, such as race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, age, nationality, socioeconomic status, and even physical ability. Are there any components you think I missed? Identity is also dynamic. I would argue that some parts of identity, such as race and ethnicity, are a bit more static, but other components such as age or sexual orientation and socioeconomic status can change over time. Finally, identity is a site of struggle. Depending on our positionality, which is where we stand in the world in relation to our identity, we may be socially oppressed or privileged, or a mix of both depending on the context. This interaction of context and parts of our identity is called intersectionality, which I could be convinced to make another video on. For an example, I'm a Chinese adoptee. I grew up in Canada and English is my first language. In the Canadian context, I'm socially privileged because I speak English as my first language and I'm a Canadian citizen, but I'm also socially oppressed because I've been discriminated against based on my race being non-white and gender being a woman. In theory, my Canadian identity would allow me to fit into English-speaking communities, but whenever I'm asked questions like, "Where are you from?" I'm constructed as an other, and I don't quite fit into this community of predominantly white Canadians despite English being my first language. On the other side of this, my Chinese identity should allow me to fit into Chinese communities. My Mandarin is scarce, but I could survive on baby talk if I had to. When I go to Chinese communities, people sometimes don't continue speaking to me once they find out I can't speak Mandarin. Again, here I'm constructed as another, not being Chinese enough. If I spoke both of these languages fluently as a bilingual or multilingual, I would be able to fit in linguistically to both of these communities, and I may even have to change my behavior to fit in more to each community's cultural context. Don't worry, I didn't forget about my monolingual friends. Monolinguals, or people who speak one language, also do this. You wouldn't talk to your coworkers in the office the same way you would talk to your friends at the bar. Different parts of our identity allow us to be part of or not part of different language communities. The intersectionality of all these parts can make us both oppressed or privileged, or both, within different contexts. What this means for second language acquisition is that language proficiency isn't the only barrier when it comes to fitting in to a language community. It also has to do with the parts of us, our appearance, the way we feel, and how we grew up. What's your identity? Who are you? Thanks for watching and have a great day.